Clarence's creepiest episode is all about how a higher power can warp the minds of a community in order to keep them as docile as possible, so that they never question anything going on in the background of said community. It also has alien chickens and cults, so making a title for this video was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done for this channel. Also, look at the Patreon, link in the description. Rough Riders Elementary revolves around Clarence's school, Aberdale Elementary, being placed into a sponsorship program with a chicken restaurant known as Rough Riders. Pre this happening, our main trio also discovers that the restaurant also has a new sauce, which becomes a key piece of the episode.
What you guys talking about?
This gross new Rough Rider sauce. You don't even want to touch it, trust me.
What? You're crazy, it's great!
As far as typical Clarence stories go, Clarence being the only one in the group to not understand or be into something isn't too uncommon. I could point to episodes like Too Gross for Comfort, where instead of participating in the gender war going on in the treehouse between Chelsea and Sumo and the other boys, he just wants everybody to get along. Or Clarence's Millions, an episode I've reviewed before, where he makes his own currency to be shared around the school because he doesn't understand why people should be so worried about having stars next to their name. However, this episode takes this concept and spins it in a slightly different way. Usually in these episodes, Clarence ends up being wrong, or his assumptions about the situation lead to unexpected results. Clarence not liking Rough Rider's new sauce while his two friends love it could easily just be a case of him having weird taste, but as the episode goes on, the audience slowly realizes that he may have been onto something from the start, but we'll get to that in a second.
Oh, the humanity indeed.
Okay, Chelsea, a little bit morbid, but it seems like you learned a lot.
Yeah, well, it happened like 80 years ago, so time to move on.
We see Clarence about to present a report to his class, but being interrupted as all the teachers at the school have to leave their classes for a faculty meeting. Now, knowing Clarence, will he A, return to his seat and wait for his teacher to come back, B, leave the class to see what's going on, or C, this part of the video doesn't even matter because I'm about to show you anyway.
Bucky O'Neill here, and I'm proud to welcome you to the Rough Riders School Sponsorship Program.
It's revealed that Rough Riders is basically going to overhaul everything about the school, from serving lunch to fixing the school library, to even offering coupons for Rough Riders food for good grades. At this point, alarm bells should be ringing for the audience, and they should be for the characters too. Matter of fact, they are, as Jess says he has a bad feeling about the sponsorship. However, he chooses to ignore it, and Sumo doesn't really care either way as long as he can keep eating the sauce. Jeff is not the type of character to just let things slide. Go watch this video to see why. So him actively ignoring a bad feeling is a major sign that something is wrong. I wonder what could possibly be causing such a rational character, who often acts on their emotions, to just ignore said emotion. We see the newly renovated library, which has been covered from top to bottom with Rough Riders propaganda. All the books are Rough Rider themed. They give out even more of the sauce and chicken to all the kids, who are seen absolutely going off. The shit hit the streets like crack in the 80s. Everything about the school just slowly revolves around the brand of Rough Riders, and I loved how they did it in this episode. It's a slow progression, one that places you in the same seat as Clarence, who also doesn't immediately notice that something's off about the whole thing. Even their classes become dedicated to things about how to make chicken batter, or how long to cook the chicken and at what temperature. Jeff, now completely indoctrinated, doesn't even remember how classes used to be before Rough Riders took over.
Yeah, but Jeff, isn't this supposed to be numbers class?
You mean math? I can't remember. Look, I almost have a full coupon book.
I also like how his character slowly starts to care less and less about all the potential signs, and slowly becomes completely docile along with the rest of the school. Everyone ignoring the signs of what is essentially a cult forming in front of their eyes because the benefits of fried chicken and artificial flavoring seems really cartoony and silly. Now this is pretty much undeniable to the audience that this is an episode about a cult. Like, this is not a school anymore, this is some Charles Manson shit. Just replace the happy white people and group suicide with fried chicken. Everything is Rough Riders branded, they have uniforms now, there's banners that are all geared to advertise the company. The creepiest part though is how emotionless the school has become, with the exception of Clarence. Jeff's dialogue has zero inflection, zero emotion, absolutely nothing. Even as a kid, I always found this episode interesting, because I couldn't put my finger onto why this part specifically felt so off.
Since Clarence, you're starting to sound like you don't believe in Team Rough Riders. You've always loved Rough Riders.
They even have all this Rough Rider sauce on their faces. Shit is probably days old too. Brush your fucking teeth, Jeff. Aberdale Elementary basically becomes a restaurant, where the children, instead of getting an education, are out here doing unpaid child labor to serve these grown-ass adults who don't even go here. This is where the episode starts to toy with the more unsettling imagery, though I do appreciate that it still keeps a sense of humor too. Like the deadness in Jeff's eyes and the way he stands in this shot, matched with Clarence just being Clarence, is a great moment.
Jeff, wait! Don't go!
From here, the episode just delves into borderline creepy absurdity, as was typical with a lot of cartoons in this era. Clarence freaks out as he discovers the more cult-like aspects of the school, all of which is actually crazy, scary, spooky, but mostly hilarious. Again, the deadness in everyone's eyes, people just randomly falling over, like this nigga dead. This episode just felt different as a kid, and even now, this isn't even the height of the episode's weirdness. The height is when Clarence enters this room, which has this giant sauce-making mechanism, which is again being run off free child labor, and right in the center is a cult initiation taking place. You know what this shit reminds me of? You ever watch the movie Juice, the one with Tupac? The one that starts off as like this fun little hood movie but slowly turns into an actual horror movie. This is exactly that, but a billion times more absurd. And this is actually why I really love this show. There's no way of predicting where they will ever take an episode, but every step of the way there's something funny, or in this case, slightly disturbing happening. Now of course there aren't actual chicken aliens running a cult in the school. It was actually all just a part of the report that Clarence was presenting at the very start of the episode, which is actually very clever. I wouldn't have expected that as a kid. Anyways, there wasn't really a lesson to this video. I just needed someone to talk this episode about. Okay, goodbye.